Well done, lads.
Well done to us for being in the
I'll start with
2%.
that wee clip that Kempo gave us there. Go ahead, Kempo.
It wasn't 98%. I made that up, but there's a significant amount of percentage that don't make it past episode 20.
Eden was like,
98%.
No, it isn't. It's genuinely. I think you're pushing 75%.
It's just like when we play these rounds and you come off the course and go, yeah, I had to hold like a 7 foot the last for par, and it's like 3 feet.
You're the worst at
No,
60% of the time it works every time.
that. Ethan thinks 3 feet, 7 feet. I keep telling him this.
that does an up game at 7 feet, yeah. But we're on episode 30. Had to double check, and we're going to do a part two of pro golf myths. The first one went down quite well, and it's funny. The more you talk, you always do these podcasts and think, "Oh, we're not going to get an hour content," and then an hour flies by really quickly, and then we had a wee chat afterwards and said we should do a part two. So that made life easy for this week, and so yeah. But first, we'll just talk about it a little bit because we're now on Wednesday. This will be posting Thursday, so I don't want to linger on last weekend's golf too much. Maybe we should start with where the boys are. So, Rob, where are you this week?
Swiss Challenge this week, home event in golf clubs Bachersee, as the Germans call it. Rolls off the tongue. Nice course actually. Weather's meant to be brutal tomorrow afternoon, so I'm glad I've got the afternoon tea time. And yeah, my brother's playing. So first event, I think we were playing together in about 8 years. He's an amateur, but he's got an invite into this week, so it'll be good fun. Bit of bragging rights on the line.
Did he get an invite based on his own playing career or because of your illustrious career so far, Rob?
No, unfortunately, I had nothing to do with it.
He tried to-
as much as I am a pretty good smooth talker. Unfortunately, he got it because he's a good amateur. Through his amateur ranking.
Whereabouts is he in the amateur rankings at the moment?
I'm not sure. He's ranked 400 in the US college rankings.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So it's nothing nothing to write home about, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And yeah, hopefully, so you're not quite close enough to stay at home, but feels like you're at home, does it?
Yeah, well, I feel like we're at home because the town we're staying in is called Beerville, which means beer town in French.
I could have guessed that, to be fair. My French is not very good, but Beerville, I could have guessed that.
Good
Jordan,
vibes for the week.
Jordan, where are you?
I'm in Tamworth this week playing Clutch Tier 2. Nice little one-round shootout tomorrow, which I really don't like because if you play if you like, your putting could not be great and you just get unlucky or whatever. But you got to do what you got to do. So
One-round shootouts are a bit mad, aren't they?
absolutely crazy.
Like a sprint, you make bogey in a couple of first like 6 or 7, and you're just
You feel like you shoot over par on the front nine. It's like, well, I might as well just not play the back.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've noticed. The big difference between amateurs and pros is over 4 rounds, usually the best player wins. But as you say, you could have a couple unlucky or lucky bounces over the course of 18 holes.
Yep.
So yeah, not quite Switzerland, but
Not quite Beer Town.
Not like
Beer
Tam Tamworth sounds lovely.
Birmingham is also called Beer Town, no?
a few other things as well.
Watch out! This could turn.
Yeah. Sounds like
You're starting. This is a slippery slope. So let's move on.
Moving on.
Drink responsibly. I should say that. Me and Kempo are we're just in Edinburgh.
Little Edinburgh.
We've
That's why our Wi-Fi is always consistent because we're always in the same spot.
We've been busy with our own golf. I suppose you managed to close out the spring meeting playoff.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually got reminded, Stephen, our pro at Burgess, he said he listened to the last podcast and thought I was very confident because I said I'd already won the spring meeting, but I actually had a playoff to do to win that, which I won. So yeah, it was never in doubt, was it?
Manifested.
That's it. So yeah, won that, which is actually apparently it's one of the oldest medals in the world. It's 1812 was the first time it was played for. So yeah, it's quite a good one actually. For a club medal. And then we had a good match yesterday, didn't we, Ethan? So
Yeah.
Which medal do you wear more, that one or the marathon medal?
I might wear them both. Depends where we're going.
Oh,
Is that just going to be your personality for
Well, I need something else. My marathon's done now,
like
so
6 months?
Yeah, the annoying thing is his name is on the board in the spike bar now. So
oh yeah, well Ethan, sorry, you're not going to
every
get
time
lost.
you order John Pantons, you're gonna have to look at that.
it is
Yeah.
a big board as well.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Is it really?
It's
Yeah.
every single person who's won it since 1812 on the
It
board.
is. It takes
No
up
way.
like a
Just,
whole
and there's
floor.
James Kempster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good
Well,
feeling.
If Ethan ever gets cheeky with me, I'll just go, look at that. What's that over there?
Well, people at the club keep getting us mixed up, so hopefully just put E. Campbell up there. But
Yeah, maybe that's what will happen. Yeah.
Was it a match play to win it?
No, it was an 18. It was an 18-hole playoff stroke play.
Like the US Open back in
Yeah.
the day.
And I finished eagle par birdie to win it by 2. So there you go. I won't tell you what the score was, but I did finish eagle par birdie to win it.
That's all we
I
need to know.
thought you bogeyed 17. Did you not
Well,
say-
I did. Yeah, I did do that a free putt. But I
Is Kembo just a massive liar?
no. It was I had a birdie putt from 8 foot and I went at it. But that's only because the narrative in the chat was that I made par, so I just went along with it.
Yeah, that's not wasn't your actual score though.
Finished eagle, a bogey, birdie to shoot 80.
Yeah, you know, the way you knew you didn't know what you had in the 17th was because in like the report it said its final 3 holes included an eagle and a birdie, but he 3-put the other one.
And a 7.
Yeah.
So that was good. I played the Scottish stroke play. First day was an absolute disaster. Not gonna lie. I mean, I can't describe how hard the golf course was. Obviously, didn't play my best. I shot 81, 71. If I made the cut, would have been 61, 51. So,
Before you
unfortunately,
carry on, Ethan, a couple of podcasts ago that you said you'd not shot 80 in 4 years. So we're just gonna bring that comment back up.
and I would like to say that's for an 81. I kind of walked off the course going, it wasn't too bad.
It was quite a good 81, yeah.
I mean, the boy in my group shot 3 over, and he missed like a 6-footer in the last. And I was like, oh well, still a good round anyway. Thinking he was going to shoot like level. I think he shot level or 1 over, and he shot 3 over. And I was like, what? Like you chipped in, hold like 2 or 3, literally 2 or 3 25-footers for birdie. Didn't do anything wrong. Didn't have any oh shit moments, like I call them. I had 2 of those oh shit moments. And I was like, you shot 3 over, and to be fair, I think the leaders were at like 3 under, and for that field, 3 under, it just shows how hard it was playing. Although the next day, the eventual winner shot 9 under, a new course record.
Oh.
So that was pretty good. Kind of outshone my level par, to be fair.
No, but at least you showed a bit of character there. It was a good round.
It was, yeah, decent. Love that first hole. I think between that and the Edward, I buried the first hole all 4 rounds, and then yeah, it just went slightly downhill from there. But no, always
Never
good to play
birdie the
against.
first.
Never birdie the first.
Birdie the first.
Unless you birdie the second.
Unless you birdie the second, yeah.
But no, it was good. I mean, then we had a good match last night against Morton Hall in the Edinburgh Summer League, and it was looking pretty tight. I think through 6 holes, 6 out of the 8 matches were like all square. And then it wasn't looking good at one point, and then you got a clutch win on the last.
Yeah.
He pulled it back, won 3 and 2, and then John Fraser, who some people might know, 73 years old. We were talking about this last night. He's probably the best 70-plus-year-old in Scotland, probably 65-plus-year-old.
Yeah. What was the stat that he said he'd shot less than his age 17 times at 9 different courses this year?
So since the start of last season, so the vice captain Willie Finlayson was asking him, so John, have you broken your age much? Like how it's always that thing, can you break your age? And he goes, well, actually, since the start of last season and 17 medal rounds, I've broken my age and round 10 different courses.
Unbelievable.
That's impressive. It's mad. Like this game, you'll just find people that are just so impressive.
Yeah.
No, it's a goal if you can kind of be like that. If you can still, I mean, like I know you're going to talk about the last, but it was 4-3. You needed a half at the last, and he hit a 3-wood to 6 feet and held it for eagle. So, and he just played 18 holes that morning in the Scottish Seniors and won, and then did that.
A 3-yard drive away. Yeah, he played Scottish Seniors at Boat Garden in the Highlands, drove down, played the match, and it was, tight, all square, a couple of holes to play, and then the last we just needed a half point, and then he hit it on the green. It is a par four, it is a short par four, but he's still hitting 3-wood in, hit it to like 6 or 8 feet, and then hold it for a 2. So pretty impressive.
Some
But
guys just got it.
some guys just got it. So yeah, part 2 of pro golf myths and a vast Billy Foster, aka chat, for a slightly different angle on the questions. And actually, the first one was pretty good, although it's just disappeared. I do remember it. It is, are all pro golfers wealthy?
Jordan, I'll let you take this one.
I don't know. Is that a myth?
Is that a myth?
I don't know. I feel like you mentioned the average golfer and say, oh yeah, if I saw Jordan's playing and he's pro golfer, full-time pro, I think people hear
Jordan's
professional
in
golfer and go,
Tamworth on the.
I'm in
we're
Tamworth
myth busting.
at the Burton-upon-Trent Travel Lodge.
Ooh. Lucky
Is
for
that a
some.
5-star?
So is that a no?
Yeah, the answer's no. The answer's no, and I don't know how you can give an explanation to that.
I'd say there's guys on the DP World Tour that might be just about breaking even. I mean, I'd say about 30% of the field might even be losing money on the DP World Tour season.
Yeah.
I think it's not until recently. I think they underwrite your first year up to 100 grand or something, but up until then, yeah, it was. I think it would probably scare people. And then it makes sense when you think about your travel for 2 people potentially, if you've got your caddy as well, plus your caddy fee, plus things that add up, like yardage books are so expensive. Like Rob, how much is a yardage book on a Challenge Tour, DP World Tour per event?
Ethan, I don't think the yardage books are what's going to make a difference.
I mean, but I'm just saying, there's things that people even think about. It's ridiculous.
Be like, oh, did you pay your rent? Oh, I'm sorry, but the yardage book had to come in this week.
Yeah, well, but it's like these things. It's things you don't like. For us, for example, as amateurs, the price of a yardage book is the same price as entry. Plus, you have to pay for an amateur event. Plus, you have to pay for accommodation, flights. It's
Is it James Nicholas who does the really interesting videos about the Corn Ferry?
Yeah.
And if he's really honest about it, and he talks about his food and his flights and accommodation and all the little things you don't think about, and unless he finishes well, he doesn't make money for that week. And I think he lives quite lavishly on tour because he's got his social media and his sponsors. But if you don't have that, then it all comes down to how the weight perform. So
if you kind of talk through, Rob, like on an average weekend Challenge Tour, for example, what place would you need to finish to break even?
Maybe 30th to break even.
And at the moment, when the cut's 4 under, that's
I mean, yeah, I think 30th is averaged about 10 under par for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Averaged.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
So that's to break even. Yeah.
What are your normal expenses like? I mean, not cost wise, but what are your usual big expenses when you're on the road?
Yeah, so it's usually the flight will be, unless you get lucky and there's a Ryanair flight and you can book that in advance. But the flights, it depends where you go. Depends what countries. Like the rental cars are crazy in like north of Europe and Ireland. That's where you gotta kind of gotta watch out. You might be sharing with 2 other guys. Then Spain rental cars super cheap, but sometimes flying can be quite expensive to south of Spain and stuff like that. Like trying to get to the event last week, you had to fly to Faro, which was a holiday destination. So prices will be, if you go to holiday destinations in summer, prices are going to go through the roof, especially this year with the fuel stuff. So it depends where you're going. Like if you might get lucky with like a cheap Ryanair flight, but mostly it'll usually spread out. The week will come out at about like 1.5 to 2 grand.
Wow.
Probably about 2 grand for the week. And then depending what kind of cost or payment strategy you have with different coaches and stuff, like the guys on main tour, most of the guys just pay their coaches in percentage. percentages. So the better you play, actually, the more money you'll end up
Yeah.
giving away as well, especially with 10% caddy. A lot of the coaches are on maybe 2 to 4% of earnings. Physical strength and conditioning guys as well. If they come out for a week, they'll be on percentage based stuff. So it's a lot. The more you make, the more, you can make 1 million and maybe 200 grand of that's gonna disappear in just bonuses for your coaching staff and your caddies.
Yeah, when did you make your first million, Rob?
Next week.
Jordan,
I'm doing the James Kempster.
Jordan, what's it like in the satellite tour? Obviously, you're playing mix of tartan and clutch, but on an average week, where do you have to finish to break even? I suppose it depends on where you're
Probably,
traveling, but
yeah, it depends if you can stay at home or if you have to travel. So like this week, I'll probably, well, just for this event, which is like essentially 3 days, it'll be 200 quid for the entry, 100 quid for the accommodation, and that's cheap accommodation. 100 quid on petrol. So you're looking at like between 450 and 500 just for a 1 day event. Obviously, I'll travel and stay a little bit extra, but you probably have to finish top 4, I think, to make break even.
Yeah, the mini tour stuff is mad.
Yeah, and I think there'll be like 80 to 100 guys playing tomorrow. So
yeah, at least there's only 2 guys, will probably 2 or 3 guys will make money tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 guys will make money, and then maybe the top 3 will probably make money, and then everyone else says even or losing.
I guess, but you're John. You're quite honest about that. That you're not playing to make money. Basically, you're trying to get it so you can get some status, right? So
yeah, you're actually thinking about the rewards more than you're thinking about the money.
Yeah.
Which is, if you start thinking about the money, then you'll play poo because realistically you're not going to make money.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. Like you're not going to can't make a living on these satellite tours, and that's just a fact.
The question is, should the Challenge Tour and the DP have a further look into the mini tours and kind of look at the cost structure and the way everything is done? Because a lot of the money isn't going back to the players.
No, true. I don't really know what, if anything, needs to be done, to be honest, because I think most people realize that you play for the rewards, like you play for the Challenge Tour starts, you play for the Challenge Tour cards and whatever, but it'll then get more expensive if, for example, you do like Alps Tour or you do Pro Golf Tour, and then suddenly you're flying to these events, you're staying for 3 weeks at a time, and stuff like that. So, but then the rewards are higher, so it's like the more money you pay, the more the rewards are greater.
Exactly, but that's why turning pro, you cannot turn pro and just start playing just like that. You need backers on the mini tours. If you've not got sponsors and stuff in the bag before you play, it's near impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go week to week expecting to play well and earn money, because there'll be 2 or 3 in a row that you don't play well and you've earned 0 and you've spent 2-3 grand. And then you'll play well in one of them and earn 2 grand, but you've still got your expenses for that week. So then you've not covered one of the other events that you covered. So yeah, you can't be thinking about money. Otherwise, you just won't play well. And you can't play event to event, paycheck to paycheck, basically.
Yeah. It is a good point though, Robert, you make. I mean, the Challenge Tour and the kind of the step between the mini tours and the DP, they need these feeder tours as much. They need them a lot. That's what who feeds them new talent and new people.
Yeah.
So maybe it should be subsidized somewhat.
100. That's what I think, because the Challenge Tour and the DP are benefiting hugely from the talent that's coming up from these tours.
Yeah.
So there should be a trickle down. Like there should be something going on to help them, because on mini tour you're thinking what, maybe I know Pro Golf Tour, maybe 3 guys make money on the year, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Then that's probably the same for every mini tour. Really, you got about maybe 3 or 4 guys that will make money on the season, which is quite mad when you think about it. So
it's also quite mad to think the scores you have to shoot to finish.
Exactly, the standard.
Yeah, you can have a great season on the mini tours and lose money.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say, for the love of the game.
Trust the process.
I love the game. I do love the game.
So in short, Ethan, are all pro golfers well fit? No. Moving on.
Yeah, I will just cut out the rest. Number two, it's quite a good question. Although there's maybe two parts to it. There's a myth that tour pros rarely hit bad shots. And then the second part is, how often do elite players stand over a shot knowing they're struggling? Jordan, do you hit bad shots?
Yeah, hit bad shots all the time. But the second part to that question, knowing that they're struggling, I think I don't know. I think that's probably a little bit of a myth in my eyes because I think you do things to combat things when you're struggling. So, but then pro golfers are stubborn. Like if they're not hitting the driver well, they'll hit one good drive and they'll always wait for that one good drive to get back on track, right? But I think there are very few points there should be very few points in a professional golfer where they stand up over a shot thinking, I feel like I'm going to hit this shit. You know what I mean? I think that very rarely, I think, will a pro golfer stand up thinking, oh, I'm going to shank this or I'm going to hit this into the trees or I'm going to, snap hook it or whatever. Because I just think there's so much work that goes on behind and all the practice. I just think that if that is what you're thinking, then you need to probably go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Wait for it, Jordan. Just give it some time. It'll come.
You've not done it enough yet.
He was 4 years down the line telling you it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Rob, what's your take on it? Have you stood over? Number one, do you hit bad shots? Number two, are you on the course at these events sometimes over a shot thinking, I don't really know where this is going to go? Like you just have no confidence or just struggle with your game?
Yeah, I think people don't think that pros hit 95% of good shots and really, really few but poor shots. We hit a lot of bad shots. I would say it's nearly 30% of our shots are probably bad. 30, something like that. And then, but obviously it depends on expectation. That changes as well because I've played with Ethan and he said some shots that he's hit where he was pretty happy with them. And I was thinking, jeez.
I thought you were going to say getting too hard on myself, but you're saying the opposite.
You're so positive, You're
that was so harsh. That was uncalled for, Rob.
Golden retriever. Sorry, I feel like I've been too nice to Ethan for a while now.
I need to remind Rob that I beat him at the start of the year, but we're not playing a match for the remainder of the year. 1 for 1.
1 for 1. So, and then I've had times, just even last week where I've been standing up over shots and thinking, this could go left or right. Really if you're it comes from if you had a bad process and you've had bad preparation and then you're not comfortable on the course and you've not quite done the prep to get yourself ready. Sometimes that happens if you're traveling late, like I traveled Tuesday night for last week's one, got in really late, couldn't get in for the practice round on Wednesday because it was fully booked because of the pro-am. There was a short slot, so didn't play the course. So then you can stand up over shots and be like, oh, I could miss it left and right here. It's probably gonna be one or the other because I don't feel that good. So then sometimes you have to nearly pick which side you're gonna miss on, and you just know you're gonna miss. You're trying not to miss, but you know.
Yeah. I was going to say, obviously, it's all relative, and that's why we talked about course management as well. Because if you know you're hitting it badly or you're overdrawing it, for example, you'll play for it. Obviously, the big trouble comes in when you get a two-way miss. But I think people don't realize as well, say you've got a pin tucked on the left-hand side and you're playing to 20 feet right of it, and you pull it, hit it close, and you get a clap, and then your mind, you're going, I pulled that it wasn't a good shot. I just thankfully got away with it. I think people think the pros just have it on a string, hit it exactly where they want every time, but you're just really managing your game, I suppose, aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes if you're really struggling, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna hit this to 40 feet, not even 20. You're just going so far into the safe zone, and sometimes you just have to do that when you're really there's some shots are just over and you just cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. So that's what these your decade guy, he was saying that if you aim well and you've got your miss at the right position on a green, 50% of the time you're going to push it or pull it. So 50% of the time you're going to hit a good shot to a tight pin, and 50% of the time you're going to be in a good spot. It's all about the aim point compared to your miss, isn't it?
Yeah, and then that moves as well with how good you're hitting it or how good you're feeling. Yeah.
I've got one slightly similar. I wouldn't say it's a myth; it's more of a question, but still good. Is the biggest difference between the world's best players and the rest of the tour say the PGA Tour, actually smaller than fans think?
Question.
100%. It's minimal and it's not something you can really see. It's just over a season, it's one shot per round, pretty much.
Yeah.
You can't see that. It's just the consistency. That's the difference.
Yeah, I suppose that's true if you look at round averages.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
you
like 4 or
can't.
5 shots.
Yeah, you can't look at consistency and think, oh, how good is that consistency? Everyone will look and be like, oh, look, how good is that drive? And then the other, oh, how good is that drive?
Mhm.
But you can't measure visually or with a feeling. You can't measure that consistency. It only shows up in stroke averages
Yeah.
and
I mean,
the
yeah.
leaderboard.
If someone's half a shot better off a tee and a shot better on the greens, 6 shots every tournament.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's
How do you
such
measure
small margins.
half a shot off the tee?
Yeah.
That's 4 shot. That's 2 shots or a tournament, and that's on the PGA Tour. That can be $1 million.
If you times that up over a season, it's 40 places.
Yeah.
So what is the difference, Jordan? Do you think we've talked about approach play before? Do you think that's the main maybe stat? Is there there's mental side of it as well?
Yeah, based on I think what I've seen through stats is it probably is approach plays where you can get the most gain. But then you can also lose the most as well. So if you're really good, you're going to be fine. If you're not really good, then you're probably going to struggle a wee bit. But it depends on the course. Sometimes like it's a bomber's course, sometimes it's a putter's course, sometimes it's an iron playing course. So but the guys that are at the top are genuinely pretty good at everything. When people say that like people have got a weakness, then their weakness might be tour average.
Yeah.
Do you find that sometimes the difference between guys who are saying the satellite tours and the DP is that they've just played well at the right time? Say if they're an event and they are leading going to the last round and the winner gets a challenge tour start, they play well, they get a challenge tour start, they play well the next week. You see it all the time, when you talk about like a Jordan Spieth
Yeah.
who got a PGA Tour start and then he did well, and then he got another start, and all of a sudden he's got status on the PGA Tour. It seems like there's a lot of these guys that who get an opportunity and they take it, whereas some guys don't play well at the right time.
Yeah, I think you've got to put yourself in that opportunity first, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're just going to get handed a spot at the Open. Do you know what I mean? So there's obviously been like behind the scenes stuff that's allowed that player to put themselves in that position. Then they've taken the opportunity that they've given themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get a challenge tour start, but you put yourself into that position to get the challenge tour start, and then you've played well to get it, and then you play the challenge tour, and then it, like snowballs from there. But yeah, it comes in peaks and troughs because you get guys that are on form and off form. You could be on form, there's not much available, and then you could be off form when there's loads available.
It's definitely a game that when the door opens, especially the lower levels, you're not going to get that many opportunities, and you have to, you can't just be knocking the whole time. You have to go through that door.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to do that like at quite a high percentage of, closing stuff out and finishing tournaments well, or you're just going to be in trouble. Like I was speaking to a few guys today, and he finished fourth last week, and he had like 2 fairly big horseshoes in 17 and 18, and that was a difference. That was 160-point difference, those 2 horseshoes. And the difference between making or not making, it's so many points. It's like at the end of the season, that's basically the difference between sometimes making your card or not. It's making those putts when you're at the high level. Because the difference between second and third in points, or even in between fifth and sixth, is huge.
Yeah.
When you're getting to that top. So when you're in that, in that top 5, you have to be someone who kind of moves up.
Yeah.
And not moves, not makes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you get to the end of the tour rankings and you look at, like, for example, the Challenge Tour, you look at the top 20 or who make their card. most of them have won an event.
Yeah.
It'd be very rare that you would see, either, especially on like the satellite tours, it'd be very rare if someone got a card or got starts and they hadn't won during
top 10 the way up there.
Because the bonus for winning, even on the sat tours that I'm playing, is the bonus for winning is massive. Like I think first gets 400 points or something, and second gets like 250, third gets like 100.
Yeah.
You know. So
and that's what Jeremy said. Jeremy said the year that he won, when he won on the challenge, on the Euro Pro at the time, when he won, it was the challenge. He said that he didn't really need to do much else that season.
Yeah, I mean, winning is mad. Like as Robin said, like it's 400 points for winning, 100 points for third.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's one shot. So one shot is a 300 points difference.
Yeah.
Where you only make 100 points for third. That's how you have to be so good when you're in contention.
Yeah. Like for example, if you go from like third to 20th, it'll be like 80 points. And that could be 6 shots.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more important that when you're in contention, you finish well than finishing 20th 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
That's going to be worth. It's going to be worth so much more. Which is it right or is it not right? Like that's.
Does that mean that they put more weighting on the guys at the top, as in they put more weighting on the guys in contention to make it more exciting, or?
Yeah, but I would be annoyed if I won the event and the person who came 5th only got, still. So for example, if I won the event, got 400 points, and the person who came 5th got 200 points.
Yeah.
So
there needs to be a bonus on winning.
It's like
a big incentive on winning. Yeah.
What's the point in winning? You might as well just come 5th every week and go from there. But you could win and then come 20th, but you'd still be far better off.
Yeah, but that's just sport, right? That's just sport. Like no one's going to remember Sporting Lisbon made the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Golf's always been that way. Like you see guys come up on the DP World Tour and get their card, and you hear the commentators say, "Oh, he won a few times in the tour the year before." You don't get these many. There's no rookies coming up who finished 5 top 10s, got them a card the next year. It doesn't really work like that. So you just it's so heavily weighted. As you said, we've spoken about it before. If you're gonna, consistency isn't always rewarded on these tours, which
it's consistency, but being a killer.
Yeah,
that's our clip.
That's the clip.
Clip that chat. Next is, fans often think confidence comes from good results, but does confidence actually come from something else?
Tempo, you can say you've been on a good run lately.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that I think confidence definitely does feed into how you play, especially, we always talk about, you shoot under par early in a season, and once you've done it, you're over that edge. But I think confident golf is much better than playing behind, playing the back foot in golf. And if you can get in a roll, which confidence can give you, then that's all that golf is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think especially, I'm not going to say especially.
Sorry, Eve Rob's laughing at me.
I'm sure. You just said confident golf is better than playing golf on the back foot.
Yeah, that's controversial.
Turn into Michael Owen of podcast.
We've already done the controversial takes one, Kembo.
Make sure you use a 50-degree hour bunker.
Kembo plays 11 at the back while playing golf.
That wasn't very insightful. You took me off guard, Rob.
I did. I wanted to throw you in there because you just won. You just got your name on the board in the clubhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what I would say about confidence is it's not even necessarily, like for me, for example, even if I don't shoot a great score, but I've had loads of birdies and maybe one bad hole, like the result itself doesn't mean that I played badly. And I think confidence, especially for me and Campbell, are not full-time golfers, is okay, I've had a bad start to a round, but I know I have the ability to kind of fight back and have a good score. That's kind of what confidence is for me. It doesn't mean I'm going to go out and shoot 3 under. It might be 3 over, 3, 4 and finish level and go, well, level's not great, but like I feel pretty good after that round of golf. So that's what I would say. But obviously we're not playing for money, so I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think confidence for me would be results. I'd rather play poorly and finish 5th than play great and finish 20th. Or feel like I played better than 20th or whatever. I feel like I played rubbish for like fifth. So I think for me, it's probably results.
If you're going on a week-to-week basis, though, say you finish fifth this week and then next, but you didn't play great, and you're like, "Whoa, fifth was a good result." Would you feel just as confident going the next week as if you played well?
I feel like if I didn't play well, finished fifth, I'd probably be absolutely buzzing because if I actually play well, then I'd probably be in contention. It's like Max Homer said once, and he said, like when he heel balls one or toes one straight down the middle, he goes, I'm invincible. This is great. Even my misstrikes are going straight."
Yeah.
If you're scoring well with your B game, that is a nice place to be in. You can be really confident there because it's like you can try your hardest for the whole week to get your A game in shape, and you can know in your back of your mind, oh, if it's not there, I can just play my B game, and I'll still be good enough anyways.
Yeah.
It's such a great place to be in. Now, if you don't have your B game either, now that's a different story. That's back to the drawing board. But
Yeah.
when your bad golf is doing well, happy days.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was good. I've got another myth, which is players don't look at leaderboards.
Jordan, you're quite opinionated on this one.
I think you've got to, because
Yeah.
I think you have to know where you are. You have to know what you need to do, and if you don't do it, that's on you. You know, I'd rather look at a leaderboard, know what I need to do, and not do it than not know what I need to do, stick to my game plan, and still not do it.
Yeah. You go back to your open qualifying where Ethan looked to you on the last tee and said, "Well, we need an eagle here." Your strategy and that hole completely changed. If you were in an opens position, you'd laid up and you wouldn't have made birdie, obviously, because you were in it. But your strategy was completely different, and it was because you needed an eagle. So
I had to give myself the opportunity to.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, imagine you played it nicely and made birdie, and then you walked off and you missed it by one because you didn't look at the leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't think, I could have just given myself a chance to make an eagle there at least.
Yeah.
Do you reckon boys that say I don't leaderboard watch, do you reckon that they're good liars or bad liars? Because there's no way they're not watching leaderboards.
Yeah.
I think everyone looks at leaderboards.
There is no way the guys say that because they want to sound, I don't know, sound hard or something, like they've got an edge on the others because they're.
But it feeds into it, it feeds into everything you do. The way you everything on the course, your confidence, your decision making, and it should, as it should.
I think
we were just talking about it. Like winning has so much value.
Yeah.
And imagine you're standing up on like 17, you got a 6 iron, and it's like the play is 30 feet left, but you're one back or two back.
Yeah.
Like you are picking that pin on. Like the value of hitting a good shot there is just so high.
Yeah, and I think people who don't leaderboard watch say that their strategy would not change regardless.
Nonsense.
That's what they're saying, but it's not true because you need to know.
I just think people that don't leaderboard watch think they'll get more nervous if they leaderboard watch.
Yeah.
You know, for example, if you're around the cut and you suddenly look at the leaderboard and you are on the cut line with 3 holes to go, they might think that makes them more nervous, when realistically it probably does. But if you can't handle it, then you're in the wrong job.
Do you think it's different when you're going for a cut or when you're kind of going for a win? Because if you were, if someone said, if I knew I was near the cut line, I wouldn't want to know what the cut was. I'd just be wanting to make every shot.
It's the same pressure, just that when you're around the cut line, you're playing a lot shitter than if you were around the lead.
Yeah.
And I guess you've got nothing to lose. Whereas when you're in contention, you've got a lot to lose because you could win. If that makes sense. If you were going for a cut and you hit a bad shot, you were never going to make it anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're in contention, you could win the thing.
Yeah, but if you don't make the cut, you're not making money. At least if you don't win, you're still making money and getting points.
No, the pressure is the same, Kemp. It's just that when you're around the leaders, you're there for a reason. You've got control of your golf ball. But you're around the cut line, you're also there for a reason. So you've got to make birdie on the last to make the cut.
Yeah.
But you've been winging driver for 2 days.
Yeah, for sure.
Your putter feels shit. It's only you got to find a way of making a birdie.
Yeah.
On the Challenge Tour, you'll see they give you these devices for scoring. These huge, they look like, the phones from back in the day, from the 80s, those first mobile phones, the bricks.
Yeah.
And if you watch people like Challenge Tour on the Friday afternoon, like 16, 17, and 18, all you'll see is, because you get the leaderboard on them. So all you'll see is boys walking down the fairways, scrolling that brick
Yeah.
just to see what the cut line is, what's the
We're
number.
breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading a book.
Do you
Yeah.
think the difference is maybe not that those in the PGA Tour, DP World Tour are lying, but they have something that most Challenge Tour or Satellite Pros don't have, and that's a caddy. And they just put their trust in the caddy to tell them to hit the right shot at the right time.
That's a good point.
Could
But
be.
surely you'd know if your
Like
caddy hands you a
the
free
caddy
wood.
might know. The caddy will
Yeah, the
definitely
caddy
know.
would know. A good caddy would know, wouldn't he?
Was it Harrington that said, if was it at the British Open at Birkdale, he wasn't leaderboard watching, but his caddy was, and
Yeah.
they'd had a strategy before the round that said, right, on 17,
Handed him his free wood.
if I'm leading, we're laying up,
Yeah.
but if I'm close to the lead, we're hitting the 5 wood.
Yeah.
That shot he hit into the
Yeah.
17 into par 5, and Potter just turned to his caddy. They haven't talked about leaderboard all day, and he just saw the caddy hand him the 5 wood, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, we're close to the lead here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But surely, like, not the moment the caddy hands him the 5 wood,
It's the same
then
effect.
you're tingling.
It's the same effect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even worse because you're nearly surprised by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've not had time to even think about it. I
Yeah,
really want to hit 6-iron here. Yeah.
I'm just thinking it might be like a kind of like a mechanism to, I think, obviously, like when taking an example, when Jordan caddied for me last year, and on the last hole of the qualifier, it's a par 5, and I didn't know whether to hit driver or 2-iron, and because I didn't know what the cut was. To be fair, I didn't know what the score was. Let's just relate me to PGA Tour player here for a second. And then I put my trust in
mate, don't worry.
put my trust in the caddy. I'm standing there in the tee going, I don't know if it's driver or 2-iron. Turn around, Jordan's already got the 2-iron out. So I know by him giving me a 2-iron, I just need to make a par.
Yeah.
So
it's almost hard to make a par when
I was gonna say
you
that.
need to make a par.
yeah.
You know what? I think that holds a 2-iron anyway. I don't think it's a driver.
Probably. But yeah, no, I'm just saying to Rob's point about, I mean, players always, I mean, even when you're out in the course, you're not looking leaderboard and you finish, then you shoot like 1 under. You know if that was a good score on the day or not. So I think players have a feeling of where they are. So that's maybe why I give them a bit of a pass when they say I don't look at leaderboards, because they maybe just know on the course kind of where they're sitting. But their playing partner, they'll know, well, based on what he's doing, he must be close, or he's on a bad day or whatever. So
yeah, I think people would look at leaderboards further on into the tournament than what they do on the first and second round, or well, the first round definitely. I think sometimes that's why you see some of the best rounds played in the first round, because people are just playing golf.
yeah. Slightly different one here, and you can interpret it any way you want, because I don't really know how to interpret it. What's something about tour golf that fans would find uncomfortable if they actually understood how it works behind the scenes?
Jesus.
What's something that makes that people would think is uncomfortable about tour life, basically?
Yeah. You could take it like that. What would put people off potentially about tour life, or what is
the
it?
travel.
The travel. I suppose we have talked about that, but
Yeah, I think the travel. I think sometimes like the realization you're not going to play well every week. Going through bad spells. I think people just think that you just like mentally bad spells as well, not just on the course, like just going through it and just going through the motions and actually playing bad, and then mentally thinking, oh, it's just another week. But I think, yeah, probably the travel for me. I think I know we've mentioned it before, but probably the travel.
What is it about the travel, John? Is it like that you feel a bit unsettled, you don't have your environment with you, it's all new kind of thing?
No, I think it's just keeping your body ready to go. For me, driving, I think, drove down yesterday, 5.5 hours, played today, 5-hour practice round. playing tomorrow, probably 4.5, 5 hours, and then driving 5.5 hours back up to Edinburgh, and then having to take the next day off because you're absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
Or staying in somewhere that's an hour away just because it's cheaper, then thinking, oh, I've got to drive an hour back or whatever. And just not having your home feels, I think that's probably what Rob would say as well. Just having those home comforts is actually quite relaxing.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say from our perspective, it's strange to see, like, if the four of us, we went and played Creel at the start of this year, and if we play well, like me and Kemp will play well. If we don't play well, that's no big deal. We play competitive golf, but it's not our job. Whereas I feel like you guys, even though you're playing a social round of golf, you still obviously feel like you need to play well because you might have a tournament 2 days after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Maybe like your social rounds maybe aren't as enjoyable.
I was about to say that. Do you feel like you treat social golf differently now because you've got to kind of keep it, it's going towards an event or do you feel like you can have as much fun in social rounds as you can do as you used to?
Yeah, you definitely can because you treat them as social rounds. You've got work and then you've got fun. I think guys that do too much pro golf work, then they start to lose love of the game because they don't do enough fun golf. Like just playing with your mates or just playing 18 holes with your pals, wherever that may be, going on the odd golf holiday, maybe once a year or whatever. Just actually remembering that you actually start playing golf because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Rob?
Yeah. I would say that what would get people is how, like what Jordan said, like the amount of stuff that isn't enjoyable is it's just a lot. Plus, there are so many weeks where you're not hitting it great. So there's, if you're traveling, you got a shit Airbnb, your flight's been terrible, it was delayed, car rental, they've tried to upsell insurance and all this stuff, all this crap. You're arguing with them, it's got so many scratches, you gotta film and okay, the drive, couldn't find the place, the address is wrong, you've got no data because it's in a different country, your battery's starting to be out of you've got no more percentage left. You get to the Airbnb, the bed is shit, the food's crap. Then you get to the range the next day and you're hooking it 40 yards left.
Disclaimer, Rob does actually love golf.
Rob
But it is,
last week there.
And
it is
and then everyone's like, "Oh, you're living the dream, mate."
It is mentally taxing, like a Chris Wood who's played Ryder Cup, and then he's been stuck on mini tours for the last kind of 5 years, maybe even more than that. And he won recently, didn't he? And he kind of saw all the emotion coming out. I mean, that must have been a tough journey for the last near decade for that guy.
Yeah. I mean, the most important asset you have in this game is resilience.
Yeah.
Like you have to be so resilient and patient to wait for those good weeks that are going to change your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad weeks don't really matter that much, but you have to, you can't let that drag on because you need to leave the space there for the good weeks to come. And that's where you're really going to change the stuff. But you have, it's easy to be hitting it bad and then to take that home and take that into your evenings, and then the food's even worse. The feed is even worse.
Yeah.
So you have to be resilient, and you have to find a way to have fun off the course.
You can never get used to winning, but you can't get dragged down by losing because you lose a lot.
Yeah.
In golf.
That's a great thing. That's a clip there.
Hopefully AI Shorts picks that up for me.
You lose a lot before you win. And
Yeah.
There we go. And a lot of guys will quit while they're losing.
Yeah.
Right before the win's around the corner.
Yeah.
We're getting
that's what gamblers do, isn't it?
That sounded pretty good.
Exactly.
We'll finish on a more, I suppose, technical one. You kind of touched on it there about not hitting at your best or whatever. Do players ever intentionally avoid certain changes or coaching risks because they're afraid of getting worse, even if it limits their ceiling?
I don't know. I think yeah. There was a part before I changed my swing, like during the winter. there was a part of me that thought I can only get so far with the way I'm swinging it. So I know where the ball goes. I know what the ball's going to do 95% of the time, but I know that it's not sustainable to getting to the next level. So therefore, change my swing slightly, change the way I deliver the club, and I now know that the way I'm swinging it, it's there's my ceiling is definitely higher without question because it's just a better way of hitting the golf ball. It's more accessible. I can go at flags a lot more. I can just be a bit more free on the golf course. And yeah, sometimes it's really good just to go, just to keep hitting it the way you're hitting it, and knowing that you're going to shoot a couple under or whatever, but knowing that you're just going to shoot a couple under, not knowing that you're thinking you can shoot 6, 7, 8, 9 under, and having that feeling of not thinking that you can do that to then go into a swing where you feel like you can shoot 9 under par.
Yeah. Rob, have you kind of seen the same thing, and how big is like timing and all of this as well?
Yeah, well, I've got a good example. Like Joachim B. Hansen, he won the Challenge Tour rankings a few years back, and then he went to the DP World Tour. Had a good, maybe a good first year, then had a poor next year, then lost his card. Then I was working with a coach at the time, a short game coach, that he got called in by the Danish team to have a look at the players, and he had a session with Joachim, and he said that like he just basically refused to listen to what he was saying. He's like, yeah, but like just completely is like, no, I'm not going to do that. Which is like can be a good tool when you're playing great and you know what you're doing. But he was kind of on a downward spiral, and then the guy was like, listen, you're this is he was saying like you're in big trouble here with your technique. And he just like, no, I don't believe you, or like, I'm not, I don't believe you, but I don't want to believe you, and I'm not going to work with you. And then it's just not this conversation is not why he then lost his card that challenge tour year, but it's kind of a snippet into like if you're too rooted in what you're doing, it can blindside you and lead you just down to just to being too stubborn and just the ceiling just gets lower and lower
Is
instead of
that
being pushed
is that
upwards.
kind of like thinking short term rather than long term?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Probably like when you're starting to play bad, you can get lost in that, short-term trap. Like I need that quick fix to,
So you're good for the next week, which makes sense. You want to play well the next week.
I don't want something that makes me feel bad while I'm hitting it, but but that's not, you got to think like Jordan said, you got to move that ceiling up. Every decision you make is to move the ceiling up, not to shift the ceiling left or right.
Yeah,
For comfort. For
or
comfort.
just get closer to that ceiling.
Exactly.
So you can make a change where you get closer to the ceiling, but the ceiling stays the same. You want to be almost staying the same and moving the ceiling, knowing that there's more room for improvement.
Yeah. Keep learning, keep improving. And there's a few guys out there that just are just not gonna, they're not willing to, not that they're not willing, but they've found themselves now in an environment where, you can become so short-term thinking that you just want to find those quick fixes that'll make you play good that week.
Yeah.
So you agree there's maybe those players who exist out there that, and you know what, to be fair, they could be in the DP World Tour and they hit it a decent distance, but they could hit it further potentially, but to them it's just not worth the risk to change their swing. Say they hit like 20-yard cuts with their driver and pretty average swing speed, and you're like, if you worked hard in the gym, did a bit more, like worked on your technique to hit it further, you could gain more strokes, for example. And there's some players you're going, you know what, it's just not worth doing that because I could just mess up everything.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just happy, like they know their game and they're happy that they're going to make a career playing 10, 12 years on tour, but never going up that next level. And they're happy with that. They're going to take that.
You can't really blame them either because there's plenty of examples where players, I mean, Jeremy talked about it, where he was hitting these draws and you said he was such a good player, really good in the challenge tour, then a bit of bad advice, changes his swing, and obviously, he just wants to get back to where he was. So it is such a fine balance. Like you want to, like get to a ceiling, but then you don't like make the ceiling higher, but at the same time you don't want to throw
bring it
away.
down.
Yeah, you don't want to go, oh, I would have done anything to get that game back again.
That's why having a great team around you is just it's just huge.
Yeah. I'll do one more.
Christ, Santa Claus here.
We've got a bit of a debate one here. The difference between winning and missing cuts is mostly psychological, not technical. You kind of touched on it, but didn't answer that, like that exact question. We were talking about looking at scoring or knowing you're around the cut line, whether you're looking leaderboard or not. At that stage, is it more psychological or technical?
Um,
I would say the difference between finishing 10th or like 10th, 10th to 15th and winning is psychological.
mhm.
But the difference between being around the cut line and winning is more technical.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Short
Some debate question, Ethan.
No, it's not. It's because you're basically
Sorry.
essentially saying that someone who finishes 10th does potentially have the game to win.
100%,
Just not the psychological or mental game yet to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, without question.
When you're in and around contention, then it's all down to your mental state, your mindset, because you're playing well to get into that position, and then what will separate you is handling the pressure and stepping up in your game, and not letting the pressure like kind of make you either plateau or step down.
Yeah, and that's nice because it kind of circles back to our first point about the difference between like a world famous PGA Tour player and an average tour player, and you see it in events like PGA Championship. There were so many like unknowns or like up and coming names up there that the bookies had basically just discounted them from winning. Someone like Alex Smalley kind of held his own, but like
Smalley was way short than Scheffler, and Scheffler was 6 back. Yeah,
it's like people know, like you've got the game, you've played for 3 rounds, you've got the game to win. It's just obviously that final round, back nine on a Sunday. Doesn't matter what level you're at. I mean, obviously for them it's life-changing situations, but to you the nerves are the same. Me and Kempo in a big event and you've got 9 holes to play and you want to make the cut and you've driven 3 hours and you're staying over somewhere, like you want to dig deep. So I suppose, you've already got your technique.
Yeah, it's the confidence, but it's a stack of evidence that you've got that tells you that you are where you should be. I think if people feel like a fish out of water and it's their first chance at winning something, they haven't got that stack of evidence to back up that they should be there. And I think if you're at it long enough, you'll have that stack.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting for our next podcast to check out this different strokes gained between like the guy that finished fifth in the FedEx Cup last year, the guy that finished 50th.
Yeah.
And check out like it's going to be such fine margins.
Mhm.
And the real difference is that mental state of being when under pressure, capitalizing.
I'd like that as well because we can look at stats for a player across like the first 3 rounds versus round 4 and just see like naturally the mentality, obviously, because they've got the game for 3 rounds, and then if something drops off, I'm sure there's a bit of a trend there we can speak about. So that's a good idea. That's next week, sort of.
Maybe.
Happy days. I was just thinking about it an hour before. But yeah, thanks for listening to part 2. As you've heard, we're not doing a part 3 just yet. It might be the week after if we get stuck again. But yeah, well, I'll try and get up to date with the clips on social media. So follow us in there and then follow on Spotify as well. That helps us out a lot. And yeah, see you next week.
Cheers.